Welcome back, race fans, to part 2 of the Olympic Diecast Racing Prelims. We got groups 5 to 8 all tuned up and ready to race. Let's roll. Driving the 1970 Cuda in yellow finish from J&J Racing, Juicy J. Driving the 18 Subaru SVX from Queen Bee Racing, Prince TJ. Lawrentown Abercrombie from Spania Lanes is driving the 68 Gran Torino, and from High Octane Racing, driving the 64 Chevelle Cheyenne Wheeler. The keys to victory: win the lap, you get bonus points when you do. Don't DNF, you get nothing and you give bonus points to the lap winner. On your mark, get set, let's race. Juicy J and TJ in the front row. Juicy J leading a bunched up group into turn 2. Now Juicy J pulling away down the straight. Wheeler trying to catch him, turn 3. Oh, Juicy J spinning. Here comes Wheeler closing, but Juicy J holds on for the win. Then Abercrombie and Prince TJ coming on in the rear. Scoring is 5 points for first, 3 for second, 2 for third, 1 for last. A DNF is a 0. The lap winner gets a bonus point for each DNF in his or her lap. Top 2 advance to the next round. So newcomer Juicy J gets the win in his debut. Wheeler, Abercrombie, and TJ 2, 3, and 4. Juicy J and Wheeler in the front row. Wheeler and Juicy J leading Abercrombie and TJ into turn 2. Now Juicy J and Wheeler battling down the straight into turn 3, coming around, and oh, Juicy J flies off the track. Wheeler's all alone. Here comes Prince TJ and Abercrombie, and they finish in that order. Oh, what a turn of events. And Juicy J is back there on his roof. So Wheeler opens up a gap with that bonus point win. Prince TJ and Abercrombie pull within 1 of Juicy J. Abercrombie and Wheeler in the front row. Oh, Juicy J's flips. Wheeler, Abercrombie leading into turn 2. Prince TJ stuck behind Juicy J. Wheeler and Abercrombie into turn 3. And Abercrombie flips. Oh man, huge opportunity for Wheeler. A 360 showboat. Hey, and why not? Oh man, triple DNF. And there's Juicy J and Abercrombie and TJ all on their roofs. So Wheeler's punched his ticket to the next round with that solo victory. Juicy J, Prince TJ, and Abercrombie are at a statistical dead heat for that final advancing spot. Prince TJ and Abercrombie will start in the front row of this final lap. Prince TJ and Abercrombie in the front row. And Abercrombie floors it, leading Wheeler and TJ and Juicy J into turn 2. Abercrombie and Wheeler down the backstretch. No answer from TJ and Juicy J. Turn 3, sideways, but Abercrombie takes it. Then Wheeler, Prince, TJ, and Juicy J. So Wheeler and Abercrombie, your 2 advancers out of Group 5. Driving the 70 Escort from Queen Bee Racing, King Danny Crowhurst. Driving the 68 Charger from Riley's Racing DRC, Mark Taylor. Tiki J from Adult Diecast Racing is driving the 79 Nova, and from Spania Lanes, driving the Aston Martin Vantage, Stephanie Hughes. King Danny and Taylor in the front row. King Danny, Hughes, Tiki J, Taylor single file into turn 2, and King Danny pulling away down the backstretch all alone, turn 3, and the King makes a statement. Then Hughes, Taylor, and Tiki J. So King Danny castles the group with that win. Hughes, Taylor, and Tiki J, 2, 3, and 4. King Danny and Hughes in the front row. And this time it's Hughes leading the group into turn 2, coming around, pulling away down the backstretch. No answer from the group, turn 3, and a drawn out 360 for the win, followed by King Danny, Taylor, and Tiki J. Very impressive. So Hughes pulls to a tie with King Danny, Taylor and Tiki J falling back at the halfway point. Tiki J and Hughes in the front row. Hughes again leading out King Danny and the group into turn 2, still pulling away, way out, turn 3. She's all alone to the finish line. Then King Danny, Tiki J, and Taylor. So back-to-back wins for Hughes. and back-to-back second places for King Danny has those two looking good to advance. Taylor and Tiki J will need a whole lot of help. Taylor and Tiki J in the front row. Taylor, Tiki J, King Danny, Hughes single file into turn 2. And now Taylor comes alive, pulling away from Tiki J into turn 3. And it's all Taylor with a strong finish, followed by Tiki J, King Danny, and Hughes. So no DNFs this round. Hughes and King Danny, they're your advancers. Driving the 70 Charger from Riley's Racing DRC, Liam Taylor. Driving the 68 Challenger from HFA Motor Club, Ego. Kareem Bolo Brown Palos from Miniature Car Racing is driving the 89 Mazda Savannah. And from Madness Motorsports, driving the 2018 Porsche Panamera, Andy McBrien. Taylor and Ego in the front row. And their group is all jammed up into turn 2. Now some separation as Taylor, McBrien, Bolo, and Ego into turn 3. That same group, no changes, and Taylor wins it. Then McBrien, Bolo, and Ego. So the youngster Taylor takes this first one. McBrien and Bolo close to 3. Ego is 4th. Taylor, McBrien in the front row. Oh, McBrien flips, still sliding with the group into turn 2. And Taylor flips. He's sliding with McBrien down the backstretch. Bolo trying to navigate, splits to different turn 3. Ego gets trapped back there, and it's all Bolo to the finish line. Oh boy. And look at everybody else just left in ruin. And just like that, Bolo pole vaults to a 5-point lead over Taylor. McBrien and Ego 2 and 4 points back from Taylor. McBrien and Bolo in the front row. And McBrien's off the cliff. Oh, I hope he's got life insurance. Taylor flips 2 at turn 2. What the heck's going on here? It's Bolo leading Ego turn 3. And Bolo is all alone. Then Ego. And oh, wow, we got to take a look here. There's Taylor and McBrien. Oh, I hope he's okay. So Bolo clinches the series with that bonus point win. Ego is now 1 behind Taylor for that second advancing slot. And Ego has a front row start in this final lap. Ego and Bolo in the front row. Bolo, Ego, Taylor, McBrien single file into turn 2. Now Bolo spinning. Here comes Ego and Taylor bearing down turn 3. Bolo sideways. Ego and Taylor daisy chain to plow through Bolo for the win. Then McBrien finishing 4th. So Bolo clinches. We already knew that. But Ego's bulldozer impression moves him past Taylor for that final advancing spot. Those two will advance. Driving the 2016 Mercedes GLE, newcomer Cesar Macias. Driving the 68 Mustang, another newcomer from Zelda Diecast Racing, Sean Matthew. Barry Porter, yet another newcomer from Shredder Speedway, is driving the 2019 McLaren Spider. And driving the 2006 Bentley from Queen Bee Racing, the matriarch, Queen Annie Crowhurst. Macias and Matthew in the front row. Matthew separating from the group into turn 2. Pulling away, but getting sideways into turn 3. He's still leading. The group is closing. Here comes Macias coming down, but he takes it. Then Porter and Crowhurst. So the newbies take it to the veteran. Matthew, Macias, and Porter finishing 1, 2, 3. Crowhurst finishing 4th. Macias and Crowhurst in the front row. Crowhurst, Porter, Macias single file into turn 2. Matthew trailing. Crowhurst pulling away from Porter and Macias into turn 3. Matthew's in trouble back there. Crowhurst sliding, but still leading to the finish line. Then Porter and Macias. And Matthew took the DNF. So the Queen regains the throne with that bonus point win, and it's a 3-way tie for that second advancing spot. Porter and Crowhurst in the front row. Porter, Crowhurst, Matthew, Macias single file into turn 2. Coming around, same order, everyone sliding, skating into turn 3, bunched up. Macias flies off the track. Porter's holding off Crowhurst for the win. Then Matthew slides in for 3rd. And there's Macias back there off the track, took the DNF. So the bonus point puts Porter one head of Crowhurst. Matthew and Macias 3 and 5 points back. Matthew and Porter in the front row. Porter, Matthew, Crowhurst, Macias single file into turn 2. Porter now leading, but now the group is catching into turn 3, and here comes Matthew battling Porter, and he needs this win to stay alive, and he takes it with Crowhurst 3rd and Macias 4th. And this is the value of winning the lap race, fans. The bonus point has brought Matthew into a tie with Crowhurst for that second advancing spot. Those two will now face off. They'll race 2 laps, switching lanes. If a driver wins both, they move on. But if each driver wins, the driver with the largest margin of victory will advance. Crowhurst with the inside lane. And gets the jump on Matthew into turn 1. Sliding down into turn 2. Coming around. Here comes Matthew in high pursuit down the backstretch, turn 3. Oh, losing control. Uh-oh. Crowhurst is pulling away. She will take the win. And Matthew comes through. The clock says Queenie wins by 6 seconds. So Matthew will have to win by a greater margin to advance. Matthew with the inside lane. The driver is locked up into turn 1. Crowhurst now pulling ahead into turn 2. Still pulling away down the backstretch into turn 3. Uh-oh, sideways. Here comes Matthew. He's closing fast, but Crowhurst takes it. And here he is again trying to close on Crowhurst, but she takes it. He wouldn't have had a large enough margin of victory to win it anyway. Crowhurst moves on. So we close out the Movin On Club with these 8 drivers. Congratulations to Lauren Town Abercrombie, Cheyenne Wheeler, King Danny Crowhurst, Stephanie Hughes, Ego, Kareem Bolo Brown Palos, Barry Porter, and Queen Annie Crowhurst. Your Olympic dreams are still alive, and we'll see you in the next round. We got the quarterfinals coming up next, folks. Be sure to hit like and subscribe for immediate updates. Check us out on Facebook at Slingshot 360 Diecast Racing. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you at the races.